The Houston Texans need these 7 players to be the best in 2024. And the number one, well, it really shouldn't surprise you. Let's talk about the Houston Texans. Welcome into the channel. I'm Cody Stoots. Hope you're having a safe and fun Friday night. Appreciate you catching this live. You're catching this after the fact because you're dealing with all the crap that happened with the weather in Houston. I certainly appreciate that as well. Hope everybody has been safe. Hope you don't have too many issues like power outages and things like that. I know it's rough around Houston, so stick it out. Us Houstonians always make it through it. And hopefully talking a little Texans here can lighten the mood and bring your spirits up a little bit. Get live in the comment section. Get live in the comment section after the fact as well as I walk you through the 7 Texans that got to be the best on this team for the team to succeed where they want to go and do what they want to do in 2024. And ultimately, those top 3 guys are the guys that I'm really zeroing in on, top 3, top 4, that just have to be the best for the Texans to take care of business in 2024. Appreciate the comment section. We'll answer questions and just hang out and talk some Texans and talk about whatever else pops up as we get through the comments. But let's start off with the 7th of those 7 players. They just have to be the best players and the best versions of themselves in 2024 for the Texans to achieve great things. Number 7 on that list is running back Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon has got to be excellent for this Texans team in 2024, in large part because there's not really anybody behind him who can be excellent in 2024. Dameon Pierce is a question mark. I'm not betting on him bouncing back. I'm not betting on him being a big piece of this team in 2024 after the rough 2023 season, and you can't plan for that. But there's not a backup option behind Joe Mixon, and this team has got to run the football better than they did last year. Last year, how many times did we watch this team struggle on 4th and short? It started literally with the Baltimore Ravens game, and we saw it over the course of the entire season. 4th and short yardage running the ball was the bane of this offense's existence. The running game overall stunk for what it should be for a team that's trying to get into the upper echelon of not only just the AFC, but of the NFL. They were 22nd in yards per game. 22nd in yards per game. They were 29th in yards per carry. They were one of the worst teams in football. When they turned around and handed it to a running back, they were one of the absolute worst teams in football when they ran the ball last year. That has got to improve. And when that rushing attack gets better, the passing attack's going to get better. The defense is going to get better. You're going to use less special teams. You're going to be able to really put the pressure on opposing teams. And it's primarily going to be on the back of Joe Mixon and this offensive line. I really could have smooshed them together as a tandem here. I didn't want to cheat and use more than just 7 players here. But Joe Mixon's got to be fantastic. He's got to take the most of every advantage. And even if Jawar Jordan or Dameon Pierce or British Brooks or Dare Goombawale or J.J. Taylor or Jared Dokes or I think Jared Dokes got shown the door the other day. But anyway, even if anybody steps up to be a solid backup, Mixon's going to have the majority of the carries on offense. He was a stellar player in Cincinnati for a long time. He's still got juice to his game. He's got to be really good if this team is going to achieve big things in 2024. He checks in at number 7 on this list. Now, number 6 on this list, his position hurts him a little bit, but he could really take things to the next level and find himself actually higher on this list as we get closer, and that's Derek Stingley. Look, Derek Stingley, once he got healthy and came back after the injury last year, he was one of the best players on this football team. He was one of the best cornerbacks in all of football. He took his play to a whole nother level that we hadn't seen before from Derek Stingley. And if he can do that again over the course of 17 games, the Texans are going to be in a very good spot on defense. He's a cornerback. Like, yes, he can shut down part of the field, but part of Stingley's importance is the fact that there's not anybody I can rely on outside of Derek Stingley. Jeff Okudah and C.J. Henderson are draft disappointments that have turned into journeyman players on their 3rd team. You've got Kamari Lassiter, who is a rookie. Desmond King is probably better cast as an inside cornerback than an outside cornerback. And you've got various other backups and guys that are fighting for roster spots. Derek Stingley's the dude. at cornerback. He's got to be really good, and he's got to be one of the best players on this team. If he's the best player on defense, you might have a solid defense, but you probably don't have a great defense. But you will need Stingley to be excellent. You'll need him to take away best wide receivers. If he follows them on occasion, you'll need him to take away a half of a field and make things easier for the Jeff Okudas, the CJ Hendersons, the guys like that who are going to jump in there at cornerback 2 and have that opportunity to play opposite Derek Stingley. And big for Stingley. One of the most important things about him, he's got to stay healthy in 2024. 4 straight football seasons, 2 in the pros, 2 in college, that have been drastically affected by injury. If he could play a 15, 16 game slate in 2024, it would go a long way to making sure the Texans achieve what they want to achieve in 2024. Number 5 on this list, back to offense here. Tank Dell checking in on this. I almost put Stephon Diggs here, but I don't know that Stephon Diggs has to be one of the best players on offense or has to be one of the best players on this team for this Texans team to go to great heights. What I do know is Tank Dell and CJ Stroud are tight. They are buddies. They're rookies that came in together. They struck up a friendship. And if they continue to add to what they started last year with what they've got, and Dell's versatility to play inside, outside, he can win from any part of the field. And those other 2 wide receivers, Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, they may draw some bigger matchups. That means Tank Dell's got to go out there and dominate his matchups. He's got to absolutely make nickel corners, linebackers, safeties, whatever the defenses choose to put on him. He has got to go out there and absolutely eviscerate them and make teams pay. And then all of a sudden, some of the focus from those other guys drops into Tank Dell. Or if another team's got an ability to shut down the wide receivers, that's where Joe Mixon comes in. That's where Dalton Schultz comes in. That's where maybe Cade Stover, whoever else is in the tight end room, comes in. But that's a lot of that is predicated on Tank Dell taking it to the next level. And look, rough offseason for Tank Dell, recovering from a leg injury. He had the unfortunate incident where he was at a party and he got shot, and he's recovering from that. And it seems like he's going to make a full recovery. We'll see if he's at OTAs next week or mandatory minicamp, and if he is, how much he's doing as he's in that recovery process. And it would go a long way, too, to maybe putting that behind him. If once football gets here, he's got that to focus on. He doesn't have to worry about what was a very scary situation this offseason. And as far as the 2024 season goes, man, if he could just take it to the next level. He was already really impressive last year. He's one of the breakout guys early on, started taking care of business, made some huge plays for this team. I mean, think about the big play right before halftime against Atlanta. Think about everything that he did against Tampa Bay and the success he had there, you know, to not only score the game-winning touchdown, but to have the sideline catch where he set up the game-winning touchdown. Heck, we can even go back to some of the big plays later in the year that got wiped off via penalty. Dell going to the next level takes this Texans offense to a whole nother spot. Stay with me here, going through the best players, the players that need to be the best on this team, okay? Need to be the best on this team in 2024 for the Texans to achieve what they want to achieve. Number 4 is Will Anderson. And I almost put Anderson 2 on this list, but then I realized that he's not here to replace Jonathan Grenard's production. Will Anderson is here to race Will Anderson of 2023. You know, when you play Mario Kart, you do a time trial and you can race the ghost who has the best, the best course record, and you can race against them. That's what Will Anderson's doing in 2024. How far ahead can he get on his ghost, so to speak, for 2023 and what he put together? I mean, this guy, D'Amico Ryans, is putting him on the video board for the rookies and saying, this guy's the standard for how we do things. You don't do that about a guy that's not going to be one of the best players on the team and obviously going to be one of the most important players on this team as well. Will Anderson turning into a bigger monster than he already was, which was Defensive Rookie of the Year, is going to be paramount in 2024 success. He's got to outpace his 2023 by a good margin. That leap has got to be big. D'Amico Ryans has talked time and time again about how rookies make that huge jump between year one and year two. And my goodness, if Will Anderson can make a huge jump off of what he did in 2023, 2024 is going to be something really, really special. He's got the makings of a difference maker each and every week for this team. He basically was that last year, and if he does it even more, the Texans are going to a very fun place at the end of 2024. New Orleans, anybody? Number 3 on this list is Nico Collins. And again, I debated moving the wide receivers around because there are 3 of them, and they will help and take away from each other. But the standard at wide receiver last year, the consistency at wide receiver last year, the oh my God, CJ Stroud is about to get sacked in Indianapolis and ruin a drive, and the Colts are about to take the lead and ruin the Texans' playoff chances. Nope, there goes CJ throwing it up. My God, there's Nico Collins. He caught it. That is what he was in 2023. There's no reason to think he won't be that again in 2024, and he has to be that. A step down from Nico Collins, a step back from Nico Collins, it could ruin the 2024 season for the Houston Texans. But if he takes it to another level, if he is big time in 2024, if he replicates with a little extra 2023, they're going to be a really tough offense to stop. He's going to be a well-compensated wide receiver, and CJ Stroud is going to be able to find 12 time and time again if Collins can build on what he did last year. Last year, it felt like it was the first time Nico Collins was in an offense that fit his skill set, used the way his skill set can operate, and maximized. Now, if you could just add on to that, the goal is to get better than you were the previous year. And Collins is still a young player. This is only going to be his 4th year in the National Football League. There's more to what Nico Collins put together last year, which was already a top 10 wide receiver season for the Houston Texans. If he can go top 8, top 7, top 5, anybody, then Nico Collins is going to be really special, and so will the Houston Texans. Number 2 on this one, Danielle Hunter. The charge is simple for Danielle Hunter. Go out there, be more consistent, and be better than what Jonathan Grenard did last year. You don't necessarily have to exactly be Danielle Hunter, though I would happily take his 2023 season, drop it on to 2024, and call it a day, because he was one of the sack leaders in the NFL. I think he was 3rd in sacks last year. He's tied for tackles for a loss last year with Max Crosby of the Las Vegas Raiders. Danielle Hunter, you pay him $50 million over 2 years because he's supposed to come in here, be one of the best players on the team, be maybe the best player on the defense, and go out there and you can rely on him to take care of business every snap that he's out there, every week. He is a player, in addition to some of these other players on defense, but he's a player that offenses not only have to game plan for, but they have to worry about Danielle Hunter. He can blow up game plans with his level of play. We'll see it in 2024. We'll see it. The other team will be right there in the middle of the second quarter. The offensive coordinator will be pulling his hair out, and they'll be wondering, what's going on there? Oh, they're trying to block Danielle Hunter, and it's not working. Okay, you pay the guy $50 million for 2 years to come out here and be one of the best players, so therefore he needs to be one of the best players on this team. Grenard was really, really productive last year. Jonathan Grenard was at times more consistent and better than Will Anderson from a statistical production standpoint. Now, Anderson's freakiness and the consistency that he brought together, it didn't always show up in the stat sheet. The advanced stats love him. But the actual stat sheet, just the regular old box score, and I'm being a little bit of a box score bozo here, Jonathan Grenard had Anderson outpaced for a good portion of the season. Well, if Danielle Hunter breaks past that, does more than Jonathan Grenard, which he's totally capable of doing, I mean, come on. What is that defense going to look like? It's going to look like a murderer's row for opposing offenses to try to stop. So the player that needs to be the best on the Houston Texans to achieve what they need to achieve in 2024, come on. You know what the answer is. Number 1 is QB1. CJ Stroud's got to be the best player on this team. He's got to elevate the wide receivers. He's got to make sure that the plays are the correct plays on the field. All the various small things that we were super blown away by as a rookie, like in Atlanta when they recalled a play that they hadn't run since training camp to run for Dalton Schultz's touchdown. Like in Cincinnati, where he can't even get the verbal cue out to Dalton Schultz on what route he needs him to run, but he and Schultz through hand signals know exactly what needs to happen, and they make it happen, and they get into ultimately field goal position because Schultz got some of that thing started on that last drive. Like, I mean, come on. CJ Stroud's got to be the best player on this team. He's got to be an MVP candidate. He's got to be one of the better quarterbacks in all of football. And if you want to be in New Orleans, if you want to be in the AFC Championship hosting the Chiefs or the Ravens, or you want to be in Baltimore or Kansas City playing for the AFC Championship, QB1's got to be the one for the Texans in 2024. He's got to be the best. What did you think of my list? Let me know in the comment section after the fact, or we'll hit the live comment section right now. Appreciate everybody riding along. Hope that you haven't had too rough of a time with the weather. Dwyane with the super chat. I appreciate you, my friend Stoots. You know, I've been rocking with you for a minute. Here's money. I appreciate that, Dwyane. You're very kind with the contributions. I appreciate the support to the channel. It does not go unnoticed. Thank you so much. I apologize I didn't get to it in time. I was on my little bit of my roll through there. Try to get to all these comments as I can. A little bit of a lighter crowd. I expected that being late night on Friday, some of the issues around the Houston town, but hey, I'm not going to worry about that. Appreciate you watching now. Appreciate you watching after the fact as well. Mr. Bo on the top, good to see you. BG, good to see you. Orion Prime, appreciate you jumping in. Danny, Eddie Ant, Mr. Blue, Jake, good to see you. D-Love says 13-4, anybody? I'd be up for that. P. Nasty, good to see you as well, my friend. Patty, great to see you in here. Calculon, a loyal commenter. Appreciate you. Pedro says, what's up, Cody? Happy birthday, man. It is not my birthday, but I appreciate you. All right. It's Cody's birthday. No, it's not. It's not. My bad. I came in and saw celebrate in the chat. Thought it said birthday. No. Not my birthday. Not my birthday. Yeah, Brandon, these storms have been wild, man. It has been pretty rough. He says backup generators, great for the city. Trading all good, still watching, even though he didn't have any power. That's a loyal viewer. Appreciate you, Trade. Appreciate you. Throw your comments in, get your questions in. If you want to get in live like our guy P. Nasty, you certainly can. What's up, P. Nasty?
Hey, what's up, guys? Hope you guys are doing all right down there with all the storms. Stick through it. H-Town tough. It's not the team. It's all of us. You know, I'm not even down there, but hope y'all are doing good. Love the list, Cody.
Who did I miss? I see it. I see the wheels turning. Who did I miss?
Yeah, I mean, whoever's playing left guard, they gotta do solid this year. Whoever that left guard's going to be, you know, I think we'll have that center spot solidified with Patterson or Scruggs, one of those guys. Kaimi Fairbairn, man, he's got to hit this year, man. We're going to need every kick. You know, how many games, especially in that back half, are going to come down to a game winner, you know? Yeah. Bobby Slowick, I think, you know, he's got to be on point this year like he always is. And, you know, D'Amico dialing up the defense, especially in that back half. And I'm so glad we're not in the B.O.B. era where he's going to try to manage it. I think Bobby and D'Amico are still going to keep it dialed up at a 9 out of 10. Doesn't matter what the score is. But, yeah, left guard is going to be a key for that run game. I think we're going to have to get some game-winning kicks, and then all our studs got to be studs.
Man, if I could stretch this out to like 11, I did 7. If I stretched it out to 11, I'd have to put some offensive line position on there. Like we just can't ignore that they had stretches last year where the O-line didn't play well. And maybe it is just a simple fact of like if they could get some solidification, some familiarity, get some guys playing together, like they'd go a long way. Like I wanted to put Laramie on here, but Laramie has been one of the best left tackles in football, and the Texans have been winning 3 games, so it's like I couldn't say it was Laramie. I couldn't say it was Titus at right tackle or something like that. But if I stretch this list out a little bit, some offensive lineman would have had to have been on there. Maybe just simply, like you said, an O-line spot needed to be on there. And that left guard spot, it's going to be fun to watch and see how those guys battle it out, because they're going to have plenty of options, from Kenyon Green to Kendrick Green to the loser of the center battle to Ladarius Henderson to
Maybe some backup player on the Philadelphia Eagles after our training camp. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we need to get Dwyane with Platinum Heating and Air out there. I don't know. Anyway, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for letting me in. Let's rock. Let's go.
Appreciate you, P. Nasty. Good stuff from him. Hey, he mentioned it. If you need help with the air conditioner stuff, Platinum AC and Heating is going to take care of you. Dwyane is the best. He's a Texans fan just like you. Have him out. Have the AC go through the little checkup. Get it ready for summertime. Maybe some of this electrical stuff has your AC running funny. Dwyane can fix that sucker up right away. From repairs to replacements, the best service and the best prices in town are Platinum AC and Heating. Put Dwyane's number in your phone. 832-777-3683. 832-777-3683. 5-star rated by the Better Business Bureau. Dwyane at Platinum AC and Heating will take care of you with the best service and best prices in town. We appreciate him sponsoring the channel. All right, you guys can fire away with Q&A. We're just going to keep this one very chill, hang out. I wanted to get some of the serious, put it together talk, and then we can, whatever you want to fire away on. Brandon says honorable mentions on the list: Danico Autry and Azeez Al-Shire. Look, this list will get to 11 before the end of the offseason. We've got 118 days, something like that. So we'll have some fun lists and some conversations about who and where. But Autry is going to be a fun one as sort of a key backup. Your third defensive end on this team. He's going to be a really important player, a pass rush defensive tackle for you. And then Azeez Al-Shire, he might be the heartbeat of this defense. With the way that he's going to wear the green dot, I would think. And D'Amico Ryans is seemingly going to trust him with a lot of this defense. Michael says, God bless all those who have no power. I appreciate you. I'm checking in from Missouri, Michael. DJ Hashbrown says, Stoots, Wingstop is better than Pluckers. So, here's the thing. I think they fall into different categories, okay? Because I don't go to Wingstop to sit down, watch a game, have a few brews, and just chill. That's not why I go to Wingstop. I go to Wingstop to walk in, pick up my food, go home, and pig out. Like, that's what I go to Wingstop for. When I go to Pluckers, I'm usually meeting Landry Locker, hanging out with him. Mike Meltzer's there. We're having a few brews. We're having some cheese sticks. We're eating some other food. Like, the food, there's different things that are awesome about each one. I would tell you Pluckers' consistency is hard to beat. They have a really consistent product. When Wingstop's at its best, it's hard to beat too. So I think they serve different purposes in my food world, if you will. Pawn Shop 84, good to see you. I got to get used to doing this. I can't do the Longhorn one, but I got to get used to doing this. People like the H. Camp 2 Wavy, good to see you. I Must Pandaline, thanks for checking in. Cam loving it. He says 13-4. Pandaline with an 11-6. You can just throw in some 20-0. I'll take it. I'll take it. I have concern with Jimmy Ward's health. Okay, let's talk about it. If it was the same, I can't figure out if I would feel worse about Ward if it was the same injury each time or if it was a bunch of different stuff, because it was a bunch of different stuff last year, and he hasn't played a full season in a couple of years. And even when he was playing for the San Francisco 49ers, he wasn't playing full seasons. The thing I would say about Ward is you've got options behind him for now. Murray, MJ Stewart, Kalen Bullock, like you've got options behind him. You just have to hope you continue to have those options behind him over the course of the season. Because if you do, and you have solid backups and Ward's missing a game here or there, like you can live with it. You can live with it over the course of the season. Plus, if you can put 3 safeties on the field that D'Amico Ryans if you can put 3 safeties on the field that DeMeco Ryans trusts, you can maximize where those safeties go. For instance, if you know Bullock's going to be on the field as sort of that center fielder, make the other 10 guys on the defense right, then you can march Jimmy up a little bit more. You can play Petrie almost as a quick linebacker. But just relying solely on Ward or Petrie and not having those backup options, it's going to make it really tough. It's going to make it really tough to maximize. BG says, yeah, Ward took one too many naps on the field after tackles last year. And that was he had some scary moments. He actually smoked Dalton Schultz in training camp last year. And that was a scary moment in training camp. Schultz was missing for a couple of days, but Ward had some rough moments. Well, he also had the game-winning interception against the Broncos, so he had a couple of good moments. Probably wasn't on the field as much as everybody would have wanted him to be on the field. He only played in 10 games. I think he left 1 or 2 of them early. I mentioned the interception. That was his only interception of the season, steal the game there against the Broncos. But you need more out of the safety spot for sure. DJ Hashbrown, Cody, would you still give up a pinky toe for 6 Super Bowls over the next 20 years? Ooh, this is tough. 6 is a lot. 6 and 20 is, it's basically what the Patriots had, right? 6 and 20 is the Patriots. So the Texans are the new Patriots. How do I give it up? Does somebody come over, hold me down, chop it off, they cauterize it right there? Or can I have surgery and I wake up and don't have it? I'd probably say yes either way. I'll just figure it out, I'll just, bite down on and you can just chop it off. I'll figure it out either way and make it work either way, but I'd prefer to just have surgery and just wake up and just have 9 toes instead of 10 and then know that the Texans are going to win, 6 Super Bowls. Do I have any other stipulations I have to follow either? You can't wear flip-flops anymore. You have to wear flip-flops. That's fine. Nobody looks at my pinky toe anyway. Jim asks, what do you think of the Giants 100 anniversary uniforms? I think they're one of the ugliest things I've ever seen in my entire life. If you haven't seen these, this is what they look like. And good God, are they ugly. Look at this. They slammed together 3 different super old school things, the 38 helmet, the 33 jersey, and the 25 pants, and they just look like an atrocity. This is in the conversation for absolute worst uniforms in football. This is really bad. Really bad. It looks like you let a little kid color, hey, this needs to be a different color than this, and that's what the little kid colored in. They're ugly. So ugly. Appreciate you asking, Jim. That was startling to watch those pop up. All right, Brandon has a question here. We watched the first Colts game from last year. There's so many places for us to step up and play better and have play better personnel in there. That's probably remedied by week 1. Look, they were a much better football team even, 5 weeks after the Colts game, much less, 15 weeks after the Colts game. They got way better. The jumps were big. And you could kind of see it with DeMeco Ryans over the course of the season. The guys kind of bought in and understood it a little bit more. And they kind of got it. And it was easier for him to reinforce hey, we do it this way. We'll have success. P. Nasty asked, why do you think Petrie struggled so much last year? Remember when he got benched, it looked like he was jumping routes, almost looked like he was guessing and guessed wrong when he shouldn't have. Freelancing, not doing what the defense called for him to do, or perhaps not knowing what the defense called for him to do. That's what Jalen Petre's problem was last year. He didn't operate within the defense as well as he needed to justify some of the chances that he took. So he's got to operate within the defense. And I think giving him less to do, because you can play more safeties, different spots, that's going to maximize what Petre brings to the table. DJ Hashbrown explains that my pinky toe for 6 Super Bowls is surgery and I don't feel a thing. I'm in. Sign me up. Tell me where I need to go. Get the hospital jello ready. P Nasty says, nah. Steak knife in the kitchen. Brandon says, no, you drop a Super Bowl trophy on it. Any of those ways to get rid of my pinky toe for 6 Super Bowls, and I'm in. Patty says CJ is going to be around, top franchise QB for a long time. That's certainly the hope. I don't see where there's a big backslide. Could guys catch up to CJ, like play better than they did last year and like catch up to CJ? Sure. Like, are there going to be weeks where Goff looks better than Stroud? Sure. Allen? Sure. Lamar, Mahomes, even Dak. Yeah, there's going to be weeks where guys look better than him. But look, put wins on the scoreboard. The stats are going to look better because he understands it better. He's got better teammates and a better team. It doesn't feel like he's going anywhere. Stroud's ability to learn so fast is honestly what makes him an X factor. I truly believe he can be the Manning equivalent to Mahomes. Maybe. I mean, look, he needs to see more NFL football. He needs to get more things. He needs to get more things to process, more input to create more output. You know what I mean? Like more input, see more games, see more defenses. And as he gets more, I mean, it's the Brady thing. Brady said this after, I think it was after the Houston Super Bowl. He sat down with Peter King. He had Peter King out to his ranch. They talked for like 2 hours. Brady said, I have all the answers now. Like, I figured it all out. They can't do anything to me I haven't seen before. And that took Brady 20 years to do that. CJ's had, 16, 15 and a half, 14 and a half games of NFL football or whatever. Like, he's going to need more input to create better output. And so as he plays more, he's going to get better. Did the Texans beat any team with a winning record last year? I feel like you know the answer to this, and this is a trap question, but off the top of my head, I don't remember exactly what everybody's record was last year. But let's go through it. Yes, they did. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Cleveland Browns. They beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. They beat the Indianapolis Colts. They beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They beat the New Orleans Saints. So yeah, they beat a bunch of teams with a winning record last year. This guy's fancy now with the chat bot. I mean, a little bit. I mean, I just figured out how to use it. It took me a while to figure out how to stop it from yelling at everybody. I got that. I finally got that fixed. There's going to be some more. There's going to be some more fancy stuff showing up on the videos here pretty soon. I'm going to get I'm going to get a setup where I can be a little bit further away from you guys. Get a different little background thing. Upgrade some audio equipment. There's going to be some fun stuff coming here on the channel. It's all thanks to y'all's great support that I'm able to do this and upgrade it, make it fancier. The robot's free, the robot's free. Texans need to be best offensive line this year to succeed. That line's got to play better for sure. It's got to play way better than it has recently. No doubt about that. No doubt about that, because if they are the same offensive line, that means they're not running the ball well. That means the protection is inconsistent, and it lowers the overall ceiling of what the offense can be. If they get some consistency on the offensive line, if they're the 10th best offensive line in football, they're going to steamroll people. Audio 890. Cody, I need your opinion. Do you like the red jersey or do you prefer the H-Town blue color rush jersey? Having trouble deciding. I love the red, but the color rush has the bull and the H-Town logo. I like the red jerseys the most, but I would understand why you would get the H-Town blue. I like the red jerseys the most, but I understand why you get the H-Town blue. I think you can. I think it's a Texans jersey right away when you roll in with the red. I don't think you yet have that thought with the H-Town blue, but it's going to get there. They're going to wear that, and they're going to debut that against the Bills, by the way. DJ Hashbrown, we could have won 12-13 games last year if we win the games we're supposed to, i.e. Falcons, Jets, Carolina, really played down to their competition. I can think specifically about the end of the Falcons game. The defense just couldn't get it done. The offense was not as good as it needed to be that day, settling for field goals. The Panthers game was one of the worst games of all season from the offense. The Jets game, they got demolished in the second half by one of the worst quarterbacks in football. Yeah. I'm asking some clowns on Facebook are talking crazy. Well, go drop it in there on them. Go drop it in there on them. How many wins the Texans had over teams with winning records last year? Hold on. Let's go count them real quick. Let's go. Texans had 10 wins last year. Of those 10 wins in 2023, here, we'll do this. We'll share this tab, throw it up here. Here's the 2023 schedule. All right, Jacksonville, that's 1. Pittsburgh, that's 2. New Orleans, that's 3. Tampa, that's 4. Cincinnati, that's 5. Indianapolis, that's 6. So you count the playoff team, that's 7. 7 of their 11 wins last year were against teams with winning records. So take that to Facebook. Hey, man, everybody said the same thing about Deshaun Watson after his rookie year. I'll be the first to admit that I believe CJ, but I'm still reserved. Here's what here's what I feel like is a big difference between them. CJ plays in structure really well, and he's in a good structure. Whereas Deshaun, a lot of his stuff was out of rhythm, off structure. He created it because the offense sucked. Like, the offense he played in was a disaster. It's garbage. It's Bill O'Brien stuff. CJ's in a really good offense. He plays within structure really well. He does a lot of the basic things that the offense asks him to do and wants him to do. And that's why I'm not super worried about him having some sort of regression, because he plays to the strength of the offense really well and within structure. And then when he has to go and create, Nico Collins against the Colts or Cincinnati, when he was kind of calling things on the fly or stuff like that, I mean, he makes it happen. Stroud beat a healthy Joe Burrow head-to-head. Feels like this goes under the radar. It so often does. The Texans beat a nearly full-strength Cincinnati Bengals team. And people just don't talk about that anymore. They really don't. It almost goes unnoticed over the course of what they accomplished last season. But, yeah. Now, Burrow looked awesome that day, and CJ had an interception that damn near gave the game away, but he still went out there and made plays, got him into field goal range, and the backup kicker, Matt Amendola made the game winner. That's because of the hard work you put in, Cody. Yeah, I mean, look, if I work hard, you guys support it, everything works good for everybody. We all have fun. We talk Texans. We can hang out on Friday night, 100 people in here hanging out, talking ball. It's good. To be fair, Bengals blew that game with Boyd, but yeah, Texans still played a hell of a game. Yeah, the Boyd thing would have been probably pretty bad to observe, but Jim Davies says, red jerseys against the Cowboys would be nice since most Texans fans going to the game will wear red. Yeah, probably. I would think they'll probably wear the whites with the Cowboys wearing the blues. Maybe. I'm not sure. I wonder what ESPN wants. ESPN probably wants the Reds. That's a Monday Night Football game. ESPN probably wants the Reds. I had no freaking idea the Titans signed Awuzie from the Bengals. That went way under the radar. And then it dawned on me their CB room is better than ours with the addition of L'Jarius Sneed. Yes, Awuzie was a guy that I felt like was should have been on the Texans' radar from a free agency standpoint to play opposite of Derek Stingley. And then he went out there and got a tremendous amount of money, way more than I thought he was going to get. I think he ended up close to $30 million over 3. And he's got a lot of health concerns. If he plays, then their top 2 is better. I would tell you I like the chances that the Texans, 1 through 6 at corner ends up being better overall. But their top 2, it's going to be tough to beat, their top 2 with Sneed and a healthy Awuzie. They made some solid signings and some solid additions. The Titans did. They added one of my favorite players in Ced Gray, the linebacker. They snagged him in the 4th round. It's a good addition. Tavondre Sweat, I mean, if you believe some of the draft nicks, he was never getting out of the 2nd round, even though some people thought he wasn't going to be a second-day guy. Yeah, gotta keep the Manos off the screen when I'm talking about Deshaun Watson. Let's see here. CJ's got plenty of tools to work with, including a hopeful all-pro running back. Gotta love it. Yeah, in a good spot, man. In a good spot. Stoots, is Davis Mills on the team the whole year? I don't believe so. I think if somebody has an injury in training camp, they probably could deal Davis Mills. I don't know if they want to, but if a team lost their key backup or lost their starter and wanted to throw another backup in the mix, Davis could be on the move for a late round pick. I do not understand the infatuation with Sneed. He's solid, but he's not locked down by any means. People talk about him like he is. I mean, look, there's not any lockdown guys really anymore. I mean, everybody's an occasional lockdown guy in 2024's NFL. Everyone's an occasional lockdown guy. Yeah, they're playing with a different pass rush, a new team, so that's something to factor in as well. I mean, look, I don't think the Titans' pass rush is going to be a joke by any means. It's not going to be awesome, but it's not going to be a joke. I mean, they've still got Jeffrey Simmons up the middle. He's a really good player. He's one of the best defensive tackles in all of football. Harold Landry can bring a little bit of heat off the edge. Arden Key can too. Their ends, defensive linemen, not awesome outside of, Simmons. Sweat's not a pass rush guy. But, it's not the worst pass rush in football, but it's certainly not the best. Casera got some hate over Stingley over Sauce. You think that pick looks better now after 2 years? No, because Sauce plays all the time. I mean, he's damn near an Iron Man. Stingley's had 2 seasons drastically affected by injury. So, it's tough to compare it that way. I mean, Sauce was an all-pro. Stingley's, barely sneaking into the Pro Bowl. So, and there's a chance that he could catch Sauce, maybe pass him this season. Hey, Cody, what are you going to miss on the 2023-2024 Texans season or your favorite moments? I mean, I liked Blake Cashman, so him not being on the team, that's certainly something that's different. Real nice guy. Always had time for the media. George Fant was an excellent resource. I could go talk to George Fant about offensive line stuff whenever. Like if I had a question about an offensive line setup or a lineman or another guy on another team or pass rushers, I could just go talk to George Fant whenever I wanted. I don't quite have that with any other offensive lineman in the room. Titus is really good about giving time. Titus Howard is very generous with time, both on the record and off the record. And I say off the record, but if I'm talking to Titus Howard about why does this type of pass rusher, why is he better than this type of pass rusher? I could eventually use that. I don't have to say Titus Howard told me that, but it's not a microphone in his face. It's just me and him talking ball. Howard's very generous with his time. Tunsil's a really good resource. He'll talk ball with you when he wants to. Shaq Mason's a fun guy to chat with. Robert Woods, if he leaves, again, another guy that always had time for the minutia of football. They answer your questions, talk to you in the locker room. Grenard is obviously fantastic in the locker room. Great personality, great demeanor. So him not being there. And then as far as favorite moments from the season, I mean, it's tough to not have Tampa be one of the best moments of the season. That was with the coming out party for CJ. That's when everybody started to kind of take notice. As far as last year, the draft when they got Anderson and CJ, Tampa, the Colts game, and the Browns playoff game. Those are my favorite moments from last year. Those are my favorite moments. Brandon asks, who do you see as being a D'Amico-style DT in the future? You mean draft picks or I haven't looked at 2025 yet, but if you mean on the roster, I would think that Foley Fadukasi, the guy they brought over from the Jaguars, he fits what D'Amico wants. I would tell you that Khalil Davis fits what D'Amico wants. There's two. Marcus Harris, man, he's not big, but if he can rush the passer, even as a smaller guy, he's going to have an opportunity to be on this team. Tim Settle, we'll see what he is coming over from Buffalo. He didn't play a lot in Buffalo, and there should have been opportunities for him to get on the field. So as far as in the future, I mean, I haven't looked at draft picks yet. I know it's potentially a historically good defensive line draft next year. So that's something to keep in mind. Hopefully Kenyon Green will have a better year than last year, which he didn't even have a year, if not he on the bench. I mean, if Kenyon Green doesn't have a better training camp than last year, he may not be on the team. There are worthwhile guys on this team that can take Kenyon Green's spot. Notably, whoever loses the center battle between Scruggs and Patterson, Kendrick Green played well last year. Nick Broker was on this team the entire year last year. And then Dieter Iceland is another guy that's been around and was on the team basically most of the year last year. So there's options to fill in for Kenyon Green if he doesn't get it together. Would you lead a friendly takeover of a fellow YouTuber live stream reaction after Texans win? Trolling the Titans would be a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, look, you pop in there. If there's the Jaguars guy is always great. The one guy that was the Texans are cooked. He watches the game with his dad every Sunday. It's always great to pop in there when the Texans are playing them and be like, hey, what's up, dude? Little fun razzle dazzle. I know Landry has a good relationship. Landry Locker, the locker room here on YouTube. I know he's got a good relationship with those Titans guys. So there's some fun to be had. I hope it's all in good fun. Hope it's all in good fun. Engineer says, I feel like Stroud can be Mahomes level. It doesn't matter what the defense the opponents have. Beat the Browns, Steelers, Colts, the broken line and one receiver. Come on. Yeah, look, they're going to put some better stuff around him and give him every opportunity to continue to progress. And even on days when he doesn't have, his A stuff, he can still go out there and win with his B, C stuff because the team's so good. And that's what Cincinnati has. Kansas City has done. With Mahomes. They've just equipped him so that on a day where he doesn't have it, he'll still go out there and take care of business. P. Nasty loved Dare Gumbawale kicking the field goal in 2023. That was good. Dare took care of some business there. Indian League doesn't have to. For the D'Amico question. Eric Armstead was the guy. That's what they were going to That's who they were going to try to go get. That's who they were going to try to go get. That's the perennial D'Amico guy. Tell you, the guy the Cardinals just got, Darius Robinson, screams D'Amico Ryans. You think Willie Anderson overachieved, underachieved, or met expectations? I mean, I said before the Rookie of the Year, and I bet on it before the Rookie of the Year, he'd be the Defensive Rookie of the Year, and he was just that. So I would tell you that he met very high expectations. I don't want to say overachieved or underachieved, but he met very high expectations for me. Most people, I think, would tell you that he overachieved. D-Love says some Texans fans are just casuals. I mean, you know what? Casuals are good. You got to be a casual before you're a diehard, baby. Got to be a casual before you're a diehard. Marcus talking about Marcus Harris and Payne talking about Phildarius Payne are going to be exciting to watch in training camp. Yeah, man. Look, I think the defensive tackle fight is going to be probably the best fight in training camp. You know, Brandon Hallman says Darius Robinson seems like he could be a better Autry 2.0. I bet Casero keeps an eye on him. I love Darius Robinson. I liked him at the Senior Bowl. I liked him at the Combine. I got to chat with him in the airport for a little bit, leaving Indianapolis. Great kid. I wish him nothing but success in Arizona. I hope he's awesome. I hope the Texans never get a chance to get him, because that means he's as awesome as I think he can be. So I hope that he's never on the Texans, because that means something didn't go right, or maybe he's the next Danielle Hunter acquisition, you know? Patty. Yes, a better rookie season for sure. Just one game under Mr. Mahomes' belt. DJ Hashbrown says Casero should have traded up for Cooper DeJean. I don't know if he totally fit. What the Texans wanted out of the corner. Maybe. Ooh, Ace bringing up one of my favorite conversations. Okay. If you've never heard me talk about War Daddy before, it's something that I like to talk about with just, absolute ass kickers, elite guys, some of the best guys at their position, or just a monster that you can count on each and every single week. I think the Texans have 4 War Daddies officially. They could leave 2024 with 5, maybe 6 War Daddies. So a War Daddy, I think it's a term from and it's been in the military before. Sometimes it's described a general who just gets it. Sometimes it's described a piece of machinery. The way I use it is just absolute, unquestioned ass kicker. That's what I describe as a War Daddy. Texans have 4 of them. Laramie Tunsil, he was the only War Daddy on this team for a long time. Okay. He was the solo War Daddy, but Laramie Tunsil's a War Daddy. Danielle Hunter's a War Daddy. I mean, you don't lead the league in tackles for loss not being a War Daddy. Danielle Hunter's a War Daddy. Will Anderson's a War Daddy. He sets the tone for this team. He's excellent. He does dirty work when he doesn't have to do dirty work. He's a War Daddy, and CJ Stroud's a War Daddy. So we have an official 4 War Daddy count, which I believe a year ago we only had 1 official War Daddy on the Texans. Now we have 4. The potential War Daddies on this team, Azeez Al-Shire and Derek Stingley. So potential for 6 War Daddies, 4 official War Daddies right now. Good question, Ace. Good keeping that in the back of the old cranium there. Good stuff there. I do want to take a second. I'm addicted to Coke Zero, diet sodas, basically. Diet Cokes. I don't drink Diet Coke, but I drink Coke Zero, Diet Mountain Dew, Pepsi Zero. I'm trying to dial it back a little bit. Okay, trying to not drink as much. This stuff's awesome. It's the HEB sparkling water. They got a bunch of different flavors. The sweetened cherry is my favorite. I mean, it tastes like a dang cherry Coke Zero almost. Still get my fizz, get my cherry flavor. Is it better for me than just drinking water? No. Is it better than drinking probably a cherry Coke Zero? Absolutely. 78 cents for a liter. I mean, come on. Come on. 78 cents for a liter. Come on. All right, couple more questions. We'll hit it here. Mr. 915 G-Rex. Who'd you rather have at center, Scruggs or Patterson? Personally, I'd rather have Patterson in there. It's like what I saw out of him last season. I think I'd rather have Scruggs because that's who you brought in to be the center. And I will tell you this, they will take the better center, worse guard combo than having the better guard, worse center. So if Scruggs is better at center than he is at guard, they'll play him at center and have a lesser guard than having a better guard and a lesser center. That's just, I feel like, the approach they're going to have. I would say it's Scruggs because that's what you brought Scruggs in for. And then I'm sure Patterson could figure it out at left guard, get into the mix, or he's a really good backup to have. I wonder how much muscle Dylan Horton has lost through chemo. I was high on him last year, but it seems unlikely he will be what he was last year. I don't know what to make of Dylan Horton. Congratulations to him. It's not ring the bell. It's, he banged the gong the other day. He put it out on Instagram for finishing his last batch of treatments, and great job to him. He said in his statement in March, when he finishes treatment, he wants to get back to playing football. I hope he does. They don't have to have him this year, but if he came back, was a factor later in the year, or could be a factor right away, then that would be a huge boost to this team. Huge boost. You can never have too much pass rush. P nasty. Who do you think would win in a bar fight? Dwyane with platinum AC and heating, Nightbot or Landry Locker? I mean, depends on what sort of, if Nightbot shows up with the Terminator, he's winning. But I wouldn't put it past Dwyane. He's a tough guy. Landry feels like he might fight dirty in a bar fight. I'll go Nightbot, thinking that he shows up in like a little Terminator look, setup, Stoots, compare every player to a condiment like you did last year on the Wheelhouse. All right, so I've thought about this. One day in the middle of the summer, probably on a Tuesday, okay? Probably on a Tuesday. I'm going to try to get BK and Jake, and we'll get Andrew in here as well. And I want to do a one-off episode of the Wheelhouse. We'll do like an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever. We'll just hang out like we used to do the Wheelhouse. We'll do some Hypothetical Tuesday. We'll do some of the other gimmicks. And I would do this on the one-off Wheelhouse. Which, by the way, the one I did last year, pretty perfect. Let me see if I have it still. I think I have it still. I think I have the Texans players as condiments, or Texans players as food. I think I have it somewhere. Yes, here we go. I do have it. Oh my God, I can't believe I still have this. All right, so if you're wondering what DJ Hashbrown's talking about, I did this last year. I compared most every Texans new addition to a food item. And I freaking nailed some of these, okay? This is right before the season. I don't think they had started training camp. I can't remember the first time we did this, but CJ Stroud was Kobe ribeye. Will Anderson was Kobe strip steak. That was great, right? I nailed these. Drew Scruggs was broccoli because I thought, there's a couple of ways you can cook broccoli and it's fun, but, you need some green on the plate. Tank Dell. I don't know why I put Nathaniel Dell. Tank Dell. Bacon wrapped shrimp. I mean, that's perfect, right? It's exactly what Tank Dell was. Dylan Orton was a tomato. Henry To'o was an herb blend. I don't remember why I made him an herb blend. Jarrett Patterson was cauliflower because he was kind of like Juice Scruggs, just not as good. Xavier Hutchinson was canned artichokes. You know, canned item, not always useful, not everybody's cup of tea. Famously in the Little Rascals, you might have choked Artie, but you're not going to choke Stymie. These were the other players. Case Keenum was Cougar Red Wine because, he got better with age. Mike Boone was a salt packet because every now and then you need just one salt packet. Mike Boone didn't last long on the team. Canned corn for Devin Singletary. He ended up being better than canned corn. You can do a lot with canned corn. I was thinking about kind of at a cooking show style. Noah Brown was zucchini. I mean, I don't like zucchini as much as everything else, but you can do some stuff with it, make it tasty. Robert Woods was button mushrooms. These two kind of go together. Probably roast them in the oven. Andrew Beck was spaghetti squash, and Dalton Schultz was real spaghetti. Shaq Mason was a meatball sub. Hardy, trust it. Michael Dieter was a pepper packet. Ended up being better than a pepper packet. Chase Winovich was a ketchup packet. He didn't make the team. Sheldon Rankins was deli ham, the sliced fresh deli ham. And then Hassan Ridgeway was canned ham. And, Hassan Ridgeway didn't play very much. He got hurt. So if we do a wheelhouse one-off, I will do the Texans editions as food. Yes, we may have to play some of the songs. If we do the wheelhouse, I'll have to play some of the songs as well. Noah as zucchini. I didn't really know much about Noah Brown before last season. I mean, he ended up being better than zucchini, actually. He ended up being better than zucchini. When do you think the NFL is going to suspend Rashee Rice? Into the offseason. August, probably. July, maybe. Question: if Jeff Okudah plays well, do we keep him? If so, how much? I mean, if he plays well, do they keep him? Yes, unless Kamari Lassiter is also ready to go. If so, how much? I don't know. I mean, we'll see how good he plays. You're going to have to pay Stingley pretty soon, so you can't overpay for the cornerback too. P Nasty says, get you a soda stream. I've thought about it, P Nasty. I've thought about it. I need to try a soda stream over at someone's house or something. What is Stover? I mean, Cade Stover be red-eye gravy. You know what red-eye gravy is? Use a little coffee. He'd be red-eye pork sausage gravy. Use a little coffee as some of your base there when you're making the gravy. Get some pork sausage in there. Pour that over some biscuits. Oh, dang, that'd be good. I love biscuits and gravy. My God, do I love biscuits and gravy. Did they change the rule about the away team wearing a white jersey? I don't know. I will have to find out. Okay. I think that's going to do it for tonight. A fun one. Again, check out your local HEB for your sweetened cherry sparkling water beverage or whatever flavor you like. The orange one's good too. I have a couple questions for you guys. We'll do housekeeping and then we'll call it a day. I don't think I would do it as its own video. Okay? But would you guys watch some food review stuff? Like maybe, we're here on a live stream. I throw it in the back of the live stream. 4 minutes, 3 minutes of a food review thing. I would do it a lot for Twitter, I would think, mostly. But would you guys watch some food review stuff? Because, I mean, Taco Bell's got chicken nuggets now. Like, I mean, come on. Even stuff as simple as HEB sweet and cherry, Would you guys want some food review stuff? Couple of yeses. Yeah, why not? That'd be cool. I enjoy the non-football topics. Juan Flores says, hell yeah. All right, cool. All right. I cannot tell you how funny it was the first time I learned what mukbang was, and I damn near moved to Korea. I think it's where it originated. If you don't know what mukbang is, it's people, sometimes they'll cook it on their live stream. Most of the time they just go buy it and eat it. And it's like food reviewers, just eating food on their stream. And sometimes they eat large quantities of it. And I thought it was like one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen. And I was like, people make a living doing this? I mean, some people also say, like, people make a living talking about the Houston Texans? Yeah, I do. I also write about them too, Houston football. Do a video where you eat super hot Korean noodles. Oh, Gage, this is a good idea. What do we call it? Chow and something Texans. Oh, how about this? Tasting and Texans? Huh? Tasting and Texans? Do we like that? We're tasting the new food and we're talking Texans. Tasting and Texans? We like that idea? As long as you're not dumping milk on yourself on Twitch, I'm good. Oh, that's what mukbang is? Supposed to have a conversation and eat at the same time? Okay. I didn't know you're supposed to I knew you weren't supposed to just eat. Derek hates the name. Gage drops an L on it. Bull Rush says, let's think about it. And Juan says, we'll work on the name. Yeah, okay. From Taste of Texas to Taste of Texans. I don't know. We'll work on a name. We'll workshop a name here. Okay, we'll workshop a name. It can probably get better. Okay, so working on that. I got some fun stuff planned for the summer. I don't know if it's all going to come through, but there's going to be some big asks and some fun stuff in the coming weeks. OTAs are next week. So we'll have OTA content for you, from videos of guys working out to conversations to interviews, stuff like that. So OTAs next week. Be on the lookout for that. I won't freak out about who's not and who is at OTAs. It's optional for the very reason, so not going to freak out about it. But OTAs get going next week. Jeremy asked, what is the name for? For food reviews here on the channel, but also still talking about the Texans. So just kind of have it rattling around in the back of your brain, Jeremy. Food review, but also talking Texans. So something like that. That'll do it, man. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. We'll have some stuff over the weekend for you. Hey, my buddy Landry doesn't have power, okay? Landry doesn't have power, okay? So check out some of his videos, some of the stuff he's done over the past couple of days. It's still pretty timely. Go check out some of his videos. He doesn't have power. He doesn't have a way to make any new videos. Go support him. Throw some of the videos on in the background. Just relax, hang out a little bit. Hit the comment section a little bit. Tell him you're still thinking about him. He'll put some content together here in the next couple of days. But go check out some of Landry's stuff, man. 17-0 food reviews. Oh, look at my buddy Charles Cheeks here. Hey, good to see you, man. I went to high school with Charles. Charles is one of the most stand-up individuals I've ever known. One of the best athletes I've ever been around. Great wrestler, really good football player. Cheeks, didn't you played at South Dakota State where the Yankee kids came from, right? You were a Jackrabbit, weren't you? Good to see you, man. Good to see you, man. Texans taste and talk. Ooh, grubbin and gridiron. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Getting there. Oh, man. I thought you went to South Dakota State. What was I thinking? North Dakota, you marry. All right, well, South Dakota State missed out. They should have had you. They should. I knew you were in the Dakotas. I get like a quarter of a point. You know? You had a quarter of a point. I was close. Cheeks, man, let's catch up soon. Let's catch up. Let's hang out. How do you find me? What are you doing on YouTube in the middle of the night? You finally put everybody to bed? Oh, DJ Hash Brown. Now we're talking Texans bites and insights. There we go. Now we're talking. Gage, Grubs with Dubs. It's good too. Charles, man, let's catch up soon. I mean it. I'm in this one up. This one's the leader in the clubhouse. Make sure I take a little screenshot shot of that. Good idea, DJ Hash Brown. Good idea. All right. That'll do it for the stream tonight. Appreciate everybody checking in. If you had any sort of issues with the power or the weather or anything like that, man, I hope it's doing better. If I could help, shoot, reach out. I'll bring you some sweet and cherry HEB, sparkling water if you need it. So everybody be safe. I know the weather's been crazy. Support your local businesses, that get reopened. Take care of them. Take care of your neighbors. Be a good person. All that great stuff. If you had any sort of issues, hope the streams had, given you a chance to escape from it, have some fun and just relax, So appreciate everybody watching. I know, late night ones, we just kind of kick it real easy, just answer some questions, have some fun. Let me know in the comment section after the fact if I nailed it on that list to start or not. And this is how I end every live stream. It's my hope for you. It's my charge for you as well. I want you to eat good. I want you to sleep good. I want you to be good. And I can't wait till we talk Texans again soon. Thanks, everybody. Good night. Have a great night and a fantastic weekend.